Welcome back to RWR Plays TEW2020. This is our local to global series, sorry, I should say, where we are playing as the Random Wrestling Review. And we started our game all the way back in September of 1995, and we've now gone through 2 years of game time since then. We are just about to book RWR 25. This is where we left off at the end of the last episode. And I've planned out this entire show in between the two episodes, so I know exactly where we're going. You'll be pleased to know. Although we have found in the past that sometimes that isn't necessarily a guarantee that things will go smoothly. In terms of this one, so we're going to start with Ace Steel against Wellington Wilkins Jr. This is a match that hasn't happened before, and not going to make it a really long match. So they have been involved in a match against each other in the past, but obviously not in a singles match. So Ace Steel is going to win this one. He's going to work the crowd, and I think we will go for a pinfall finish. So Ace Steel gets the clean victory over Wellington Wilkins Jr., who obviously has just had a shot at the title and lost to Blitzkrieg. And that's where we're going to start off today. Wilkins Jr. continues to maintain his position as kind of the chief sort of underdog in the company, and that's where we're going to keep him for the time being. Then we're going to have a match that is going to pit what we're going to do here. I don't remember now. So it's going to be Dog versus Rocco Rock. So we are very much now leaning into this storyline between Bad Crew and Public Enemy. I've not, I obviously my plans have changed for what we're going to do with the Bad Crew, but we may still incorporate the previous plans I had, but only when the time is right in this one. And this one's going to be a all-out match. I think we're going to make this. It's going to be double count out. So we always had the double DQ between the two teams in the last show. This one's going to be a double count out. Oh, hang on. Dusty finish count out. That's not what I wanted. I wanted a double count out. I wanted a dusty finish. There we go. The wrong thing. Dog is nowhere near fit enough for this match. They're down to 6 minutes. So it's going to be the shortest match we've had so far in the Random Wrestling Review. I feel like I've gone straight into the episode here. This is a bit of a bizarre one. Gone straight into the booking this show, and not done a lot of preamble, which feels a bit odd, but we're going to go with it anyway. We're then going to have an angle with Buddy Wayne, and he's going to basically say that he's not been at his best lately. He's not been at his best lately, and needs to work his way back to the top of RWR, starting today with today's match, and it's going to be against Kid Chaos. And the idea here is to kind of reset where we are with Buddy Wayne, because he's kind of lost purpose a little bit since the since his big rival Michael Modest left, and he's obviously not managed to win win a lot of matches. He was beaten by James Storm recently. We're gonna have a submission victory for Buddy Wayne here. We'll have a storytelling as well, because why not? So that's that match. And then we're going to have a tag team match, and this is finally the rematch between the two teams that drew during the tournament. So James Storm and CW Anderson against ECMO and Charlie Haas. Now, just to remind myself, ECMO is in a feud with Dave Batista. Do we want ECMO to get involved in this match? I think we probably will. So, we're going to make that a little bit longer. And this one's going to be won by James Storm. And ECMO, who he's going to pin. And it's going to be a distraction finish, I think we're going to go for this time. I like to, at least if we're going to have the finish be quote unquote creative, I at least like to mix it up a little bit in terms of what that creative finish is. The distraction finish, and obviously it's going to be ECMO and Dave Batista is the man who's going to distract him in this one. So, yeah, that's going to be the match. Make it an open match as well. And then we're going to have another match, this time where Public Enemy and Bad Crew continue their kind of feud. Rocco Rock versus Rose. No, did we do Rocco Rock before? I think we already did Rocco Rock. Yes. So it's Rose versus Johnny Grunge in the other match. And this one's not going to go much longer. Again, we'll go 7 minutes, depending on how this works. And it's going to be a sports entertainment finish. And the interference is going to come from both. So obviously, in will come Dog, and in will come Rocco Rock. And that's how that match is going to end. And then afterwards, all four men are just going to have a big old fight. This is very much a very straightforward. These two teams just do not like each other, and they also, you know, they're not nuanced about it. They're not being calm about it. They're just going straight in and doing what they can to hurt the other team. And I think that's all we've got other than the main event, which is going to be for the title. And finally, Shawn Stasiak is going to get his chance at the belt in this one. I'm going to make it 15 minutes. I think this has got the chance to be, in fact, we'll make it 16 minutes and make it slow build. I think this has got the chance to be our best match yet. Blitzkrieg is going to win the match. We'll make it 16 minutes. No, I want to put the title on the line, of course. So Blitzkrieg versus Shawn Stasiak is the main event. All good in terms of that. It's just, just lack of commentary being the problem there, but it's not really a problem. Ed Moretti hasn't wrestled for a couple of months, and that's because I'm not really sure where to go with him next, which might mean that he's not on the roster for much longer. We'll have to think about that. But then anyway, after the match, Shawn Stasiak is attacked by none other than his rival Ace Steel, but Blitzkrieg stands up for him and kind of warns off Steel. And there it is. And I think after that, Stasiak and Blitzkrieg will shake hands as well. So we'll make it 6 minutes. So pretty much the most realized, the biggest show we've done so far. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches on this show, more than we've ever had before. We've also got like 3 angles. It's properly over like the amount of time we actually have to make it. It's 89 minutes in length, actually nearly an hour and a half, which is almost exactly what we've said we would make the show, and we're not going to be penalized. So let's go into this show. This is quite exciting. The 25th show in the Random Wrestling Reviews history, and here it goes. Checking I've got everything right. So we start off. 68 people are here for this one, and Ace Steel defeats Wellington Wilkins Jr. in 7:52, a segment rating of 23. Ace Steel's in-ring performance was 25. Wellington Wilkins Jr. only an 18. Ace Steel continues to be pretty decent for me at this point. Then we have Dog versus Rocco Rock, a segment rating of 24. Rocco Rock was a 28, Dog an 18. This was obviously all-out match, but a very short one as well, and the two go to a double count out where they kind of brawl out of the ring and cannot be separated. Then we have Buddy Wayne coming out and saying that, over the last few months, he's not been his best. He's fallen down the rankings. He lost to James Storm recently and hasn't been able to kind of get back to the title that he once held very proudly. So tonight he's going to kind of refocus himself and get back towards the top of the company. And this was a really good segment, actually, a 34 rated segment. Wayne enjoyed having the freedom to go off script and performed well. So that's a really good way for him to start this new kind of period in his career. And he beats Kid Chaos in 8:58 by submission, a segment rating of 22. Wayne a 24, Kid Chaos a 17. Kid Chaos is kind of our jobber on the heel side at the moment. Like, I'm not doing much else with him. And Body Wayne gets the first victory of this new kind of period, new era for him. Then we have the tag team rematch from the tournament where these two teams went out together due to a 20-minute time limit draw. James Storm and CW Anderson pick up the victory in 12:38 when James Storm pinned ECMO after a distraction from Dave Batista. And obviously, their feud continues. Segment rating of 26, so a really decent match here. Anderson 26, Storm 27, ECMO 25. He's gradually got better, actually, the more performances he's had, and Charlie Haas a 20. So then next, Rose and Johnny Grunge have their match, a segment rating of 21. Rose and 18, Johnny Grunge and 25. The Bad Crew are just poor wrestlers in general. This one descended into chaos after Rocco Rock and Dog became involved. And then straight after the match, the four men continued to brawl, which got a segment rating of 23. Chaos ensues all over the arena, and it's very, very difficult to restore order at this point. That is ahead of our main event. It's for the RWR title, and it is Blitzkrieg versus Shawn Stasiak. And Blitzkrieg gets the victory in 16 minutes and 30 seconds by pinfall with a Sky Twister press. I managed to say it correctly this time around. Blitzkrieg makes defense number 3 of the title. A segment rating of 28, not quite as high as I would have liked, given especially that Blitzkrieg got a 31 and Stasiak a 30. But this will be because these are both baby faces fighting one another, and therefore there's a limit to how good it can truly be. And then we get the post-match where Ace Steel comes out, attacks Shawn Stasiak, but Blitzkrieg then kind of warns him off, and Steel retreats, and afterwards Blitzkrieg helps Stasiak to his feet, and they shake hands. So segment rating here of 22, and that's how this show ends. And I felt like I had more talking to do then than I have had to do so far in this entire save. But that's where we've gone. Overall rating of 28, so a really successful show in terms of the quality as well. Main event was good. The tag team match was actually really good too. This was a good show in general. One of our best, may even be our very best. We'll have to look at the top 100 list in a minute. Who am I going to give the credit to? Well, first of all, Blitzkrieg and Shawn Stasiak. They probably are our two most consistent performers, and I think after that, I'm going to give it to James Storm because he is looking pretty good in terms of his performances as of late. And that was RWR 25. Very nice to be able to get that done so early in the episode. Now, I did want to just quickly look at this top 100 list because I wanted to see if that was our best event. It was our best event by one clear point. RWR 25 is now our very best show. And that match between Shawn Stasiak and Blitzkrieg was our 5th best match. Blitzkrieg and Stasiak have to be involved if they're going to get towards the top of the matches list. We've also got up to 6 in size in Northwest now, so we continue to grow, which will do no harm at all to our finances, which should be fine. We're going to make enough money, I think, to ensure we stay in the black for another month. So let's advance to the end of the current month, and it's time to start reflecting on what we've just done and thinking about what we're going to do next, because this is something I haven't got any plans for. Although obviously I did have a thought about what the main event would be, which is probably going to be Blitzkrieg and Shawn Stasiak against Ace Steel and someone. Now, it's who the someone is that I need to be kind of careful about, because I'm not sure who I want this to be. It might be that we bring in a new signing for that, if I'm honest, because I like the idea of it. I've also thought, though, about adding Bad Crew and Public Enemy to this match. The problem with that is that I want this to be a reasonably long, or a bit of a longer match, and those two teams, well, the Bad Crew in particular, really struggle to go any length of time. So it might be that I need to do, some other, it might be that I need to do some other match with those. So there is some things to think about here, which I'm not entirely clear about how we're going to approach it. But I had considered having Ace Steel bring somebody in. If I do that, though, we may need to lose someone from the roster, because I don't really want the roster to grow beyond 16. Oh, excuse me. I don't really want to go. I don't want to run the roster to go above 16 people. I think that 16 is enough, especially given we've just done a show with 6 different matches on, which was, you know, um, completely unique for me and this company at the moment. So yeah, difficult. I feel a difficult decision. I haven't really considered who it's going to be that Ace Steel's going to team with. We've also got the ECMO and Dave Batista stuff that I might do a match between those two for this show. And we've obviously just kicked off Buddy Wayne's kind of attempt to, get up the rankings. And James Storm has just got another victory as well, so he'll be towards the top of the rankings. After Stasiak's loss, he now drops to 0 points, of course. And it's Batista and James Storm who are the top 2 contenders for the title. So maybe have James Storm in some kind of match on this show as well. Tricky decisions to make. And Ace Steel as well is now on 2 wins. He's now on 2 points. So yeah, difficult one to determine what we're doing next with. So this is the end. So we're into November. Let's have a quick look at Halloween Havoc 1997. Hulk Hogan defeated Vader to retain the WCW World Heavyweight title in the main event, but Ric Flair and Brian Pillman did a 100 rated match in the semi-main. Again, they've put the wrong match into the main event, really, at least in terms of match quality. Randy Savage defeated Steve Williams. Team Amazement were defeated by Nasty Boys. Team Amazement are Brutus, Beefcake, and Earthquake. Magnificent tag team. Dallas Page defeated Tex Slazenger and Ron Simmons in a triple threat match to retain the WCW United States title. That's Midian and Farouk, I think, that he's faced there. Amazing. What a match that would have been. Eddie Guerrero defeated the Taskmaster, so the Taskmaster's still doing his thing in WCW. British Bulldog defeated IRS effectively. And this is basically 1995 or 1994, I should say, WWF. You've got Bulldog, IRS, Rick Martel, Adam Bomb. Obviously, you've got Midian and Farouk. I know they were a bit later in WWF, but fascinating how the rosters have kind of shaken out on this thing, on this save. Financially, we are fine for that. A lovely profit being made despite all of the wrestlers we used in the last show. We've got to come up with a new show name as well for the next one. And I don't know what the show's going to be called. We called our November show last time Novemberfest, did we not? Is that not? Am I not right? Yes, we did. We called it Novemberfest. We could do Novemberfest 2, I suppose. But I am kind of eager to come up with something new for this. What are we gonna call this one? Coming up, I'm gonna. Oh, hang on. What was the name? Oh, I can't remember the name that the game came up with. No, not Doomsday. Not Shelter. What kind of a name is that? Path to Greatness. No, we're not calling it that either. Coronation of Champions. Stormy Weather. Ego has landed. Hot Time. King of Kings. Survive. Path to Greatness. We would do that. Raw Power. Culture Shock. True Heart. Slam Mania. Hammer Time. Insult to Injury. Ready, Steady, Gold. Like that one. Grand Designs. I mean, for anyone who's a British fan of this series or watching this series, like, you'll know that that's not the name of a wrestling show. That's the name of a house design show. Sick and Twisted. Resolution. No. Wrestling Spirit. Big City Nights. Clamp Down. Ultimate Force. Livewire. Maybe we'll call it Livewire. But I guess in 1997, Livewire, WWF show Livewire was still on air, so maybe that isn't going to work. Overload, could go with that. I think I'm just going to go with that. RWR Overload is the November show. It's so vague, it could mean literally anything. So I don't think it matters too much. Now, what do we want to do here? What do we want to do at this show? I've got a load of matches written down as potentials, but I don't want to just blow it all on this show. So let's have a look at this. ECMO and Batista have had one match at the second anniversary show. don't really want to go straight back to that. So I'm thinking ECMO and the Public Enemy against Dave Bautista and Bad Crew. And I'm also intending to do Blitzkrieg and Shawn Stasiak against Ace Steel and a mystery partner. I have got one idea for this, but I'm just trying to determine whether I'm happy with the idea. Then we've also got, I'm going to put James Storm and Charlie Haas against each other. I'm just going to check out my storylines as well because I've kind of forgotten. So Stasiak and Ace Steel are going to be in the main event against one another. Batista versus ECMO and the Bad Crew entered the RWR. Storylines are all covered off. So I'm going to have a quick look and see if I can find somebody who fits the bill for me in terms of, I'm going to make this active wrestler, in terms of who he could bring in. Actually, Barry Buchanan, I really like that. He's currently employed by ECW, so he is employed by other people. I mean, $90 per show is not a problem. Let's just see. I mean, we've determined that we can carry ECW wrestlers because we got Public Enemy in, who are who are kind of we're able to use them. Why can't I find what I'm looking for here? For some reason, cannot the schedule. That's what I was looking for. So this doesn't really affect me. We can have him here, and it's not a problem. I think we're going to bring in Barry Buchanan. That's who we're going to bring in next. But what that means is someone will be leaving the roster. I think it's likely that that's someone. But it could be Kid Chaos, but it could be Ed Moretti, and I think we will make a decision on that another time. But Barry Buchanan is coming in as Ace Steel's teammate, mystery teammate. So there's going to be a little bit of something that we're doing here. So what we're doing in terms of advertising ahead of the event, we're going to advertise that the Overload main event is going to be ECMO and Public Enemy versus Dave Bautista and Bad Crew. That's advertised as the main event. There's going to be nothing advertised that the champion is going to do or any of those guys. But then it's going to be kind of match that's formed on the night to have the main event is going to be formed on the night in a kind of roundabout way, which we'll get to when we start to book. So yeah, that's how we're going to do it. I'm not going to bring you the rankings today. I would have given you a kind of an update on that, but seeing as we've just had a whole show with 6 matches, I haven't had the chance to update them yet, and I won't be able, and they won't mean much. And not only that, but we haven't got a title match on the next show, so I don't think it's a concern in that respect. So yeah, I think I'm comfortable with not showing you those again because I said they won't mean a lot at the moment. Nevertheless, what you should know is that Stasiak is now at the bottom of the rankings. Batista's got 3 points. So has James Storm. ECMO's got 2. Dog and Rose have got 2. And Ace Steel has now got 2. Buddy Wayne also has 2. So fair few people still on 2. And yeah, the top contenders though, Dave Batista and James Storm, both of whom will be wrestling on this show. So we'll kind of see what happens on this next show. Anything interesting in the news? No, not right now. So only got about 5 more minutes, so we'll try and book this show, and then we'll probably try and bring it to you in the next episode, which is a little bit different. A little bit different again. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start with an angle this month, and it's going to be Ace Steel, and he is going to challenge Blitzkrieg and Shawn Stasiak. So we'll keep them on screen because they'll need to come out, and they'll also be judged by their entertainment. Ace Steel challenges Blitzkrieg and Stasiak to a match tonight with mystery partner, and they accept. It's going to be 8 minutes long, pretty long one, this one. Then we're going to have one of our one-on-one matches. It's going to be James Storm against Charlie Haas. Hang on, yeah, Charlie Haas is the babyface, that's right. I think I'm going to try and make this a reasonably balanced match, but the winner is going to be James Storm. And James Storm, we're kind of building him up a little bit here. He's kind of getting quite a few victories. We'll make this a storytelling match as well. So that'll be another victory for James Storm. In fact, that'll be his 4th point in terms of trying to become the #1 contender. So he's going to have a really good case for getting a title shot soon. Then we're going to have the originally announced main event, which is going to be ECMO and the Public Enemy against Dave Batista and Bad Crew. I'm going to make this 12 minutes. They might not be able to last that long. Now it's just about who's going to be the winner of this one. I think I'm going to go with the baby faces. So Johnny Grunge is going to get the win on Dog. I would like it to be a bit of a all-out match, but I just don't think that Bad Crew can do it. And even here, like, we're going to continue despite that warning, but yeah, even here, the Bad Crew guys are already going to be too tired to fully go for it in this match. Then we're going to have Buddy Wayne. Oh, Buddy Wayne. Yeah, and C.W. Anderson in the next match. And we're going to have Buddy Wayne get another victory on his way to the top again. And then the main event is going to be Blitzkrieg and Shawn Stasiak against Ace Steel and Barry Buchanan. So again, this needs to be a bit longer. 17 minutes, I think. And this time, I think, what we're going to do, I think we might give Barry Buchanan the victory. Oh, now how do I want to book this? Who do I want to win? Because obviously I've got to be wary of the #1 contender slot and all the rest of it. I do want the heels to win this one though. Ace Steel currently carried 2 wins. If he wins this one, he gets 3. Still wouldn't be as many wins as James Storm. I think we have actually Ace Steel win this one, not Barry Buchanan. And he pins Blitzkrieg. We'll have a slow build. And he's going to do it with a tainted win as well, I think, in the main event. So that's how that's going to go. And obviously give a bit of intrigue in terms of maybe the future for whether Ace Steel should get a title shot. Before that match, we're going to have Ace Steel announce Barry Buchanan or introduce Barry Buchanan. And obviously, the idea here is that Buchanan's going to come in and he's going to be really big. He's a big guy. He's going to look mean. So he's kind of got a lot of menace about him. And he's going to come out and he's going to scare everybody, basically. Doesn't need to be that long. 4 minutes will do for that particular segment. We wouldn't be penalised. And we've got 3 people who are not on the show. Moretti, Kickass, and Wilkin Jr. I think it might be time for us to accept that Moretti is no longer needed on the roster. These 2 play their role. Kid Chaos and Wellington Wilkins Jr. play their role as kind of the jobbers of the company. But Moretti Yeah, he's just not really had anything to do for a while. So I think that is all we're going to do for the show. But that is also what we're going to do for the episode. And you'll have to come back on the next episode. A real cliffhanger here to see what takes place and for us to play out RWR Overload. So thank you for watching today. Give us a like, give us a subscribe as always. I can't say the word subscribe, or at least in terms of the order I'm trying to say it with the other words around it. Stop talking. I am now completely blabbering on. We'll catch you next time.